No shirts this year, Derek?
The new ones are royal blue and heather red.
Because my earlobe is cracking from me wearing it so much.
Yeah, we're gonna go tour. I'm sorry? Oh, no, I was saying I have some shirts. They have a
How's the little one? She's not little.
I'm gonna grab a chair real quick, an extra chair.
Is she still thinking? Yay. Well, I will be on board with the cookie boy. I'm all about supporting the Anyway, since you get on your live streams.
All right, everyone, we'll give probably like a couple more minutes, then we're gonna go live on YouTube. And so go ahead and grab a drink, come on in and get comfortable.
So that's the new shirt?
No, that's,
That's blue.
it's
I
more
did.
blue.
I wear green. Yeah, but I
Yeah,
wear it
it's like,
so much,
it's
it's
royal.
cracking.
That's the thing. So it's royal.
I need all the colors because I wear them so much. Like, no,
They fade out.
well, the print cracks on this purple. Eventually.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. There are gonna be multiple
And I always start conversations when I wear it. People are like, what is that? And I'll be like, oh, great chance to tell you about it. Do you have a new first generation iPhone? I did, because I gave the last one away.
I literally had like so much fun. I just scrapped everything that had
Got it.
So now,
Well, she's still at UTD.
it's still.
Derek now.
Associate vice president for decision making, something like that. Something good.
That sounds like what your mom did. Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We are live on YouTube right now. If you're watching us on YouTube, first of all, thank you for joining us for the live Q&A portion. And as the guy that looks like me said in the previous video, go ahead and smash that like button and hit that subscribe button and click that bell so that you make sure that you know every time we go live like this and whenever we post videos. So thank you for all of your support and thank you for being here. So this is our live Q&A portion. I'm going to keep an eye on the time here so that we can make sure that we get to lunch in a timely manner. So thank you all for joining us again. Again, my name is Derek Jackson, and I'm an assistant director in the Office of Undergraduate Education. which supports all undergraduates, but our specific program, of course, is first generation student programs here at UT Dallas. And so I have some lovely colleagues here on stage who are here to answer any questions that you may have. I have some pre-prepared as well. When you registered, there were some questions that you submitted, so I have some of the more common ones that you sent in. One of them is, several people asked about scholarship support, and I'm happy to report that yes, we are working on a first generation general scholarship, and we have a first generation future leaders fund, and I want to take a moment right now to thank Capital One for their support with that as well. The first gen, thank you. The First Gen Future Leaders Fund supports first generation students in anything that, so we keep it sufficiently vague, anything that involves going beyond your typical undergraduate duties. Now, what does that mean? If you want to go to law school, okay, well, there's a test you have to take, that costs money. Don't worry about that. Apply for the Future Leaders Fund, you can get funded for that. Same thing with if you want to join a professional organization, but you're being gate-kept by the fee, apply for our leadership fund, and we can fund that. Medical school, like graduate school application fees, standardized test costs, anything in that realm, we will fund it up to $500, including your actual time at a conference. That is going to be in addition to the First Generation General Scholarship that we are working to secure. This has been something that I've been working on for 6 years. 6 years I have been trying to cultivate these relationships, being like, hey, you want to support first-gen students, right? And then it's paying off. So that's what we got going on here. Before I jump in and introduce our panelists, or have our panelists introduce themselves, I want to actually pass it over to Tiffany Taylor. Tiffany is a first-generation student. Tiffany does amazing things, and she's going to talk to you about, I mentioned the Student Success Center in our video today, but she's going to talk about our success camps and any other services that you may want to throw in for the live audience. I'll pass it over to Tiffany.
Hi guys, my name is Tiffany. I am a senior psychology major. Like he said, I'm also a first-gen student, so I was happy to see this invite come across my desk. I work with the Student Success Center. I've been there for 5-6 semesters. I'm getting old, but I know the Student Success Center front to back, and if you don't know it front to back yet, I want to give you just a quick little rundown. So it covers all of the on-campus tutoring, so that can be like STEM tutoring for your chem, your calc, anything like that. It covers academic success coaching, so like study skills, time management. It can help you with your essay writing, your citations. It can help you practice your public speaking. All of that is encompassed within the Student Success Center. And this summer, next week actually, the Student Success Center is launching our Summer Success Camp. So we wanted to offer you guys a formal invite to it because we think it would be super fun and beneficial. It is completely free. Like I said, it's next Tuesday and Wednesday between 8:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. And you might be thinking, oh my goodness, that's such a long time. First of all, it'll be so much fun. Second of all, you don't have to go for the whole day if you don't want. We're doing it in sections. So section A is gonna be like a college 101 track. So that's gonna be like intro to writing, how to study in college. I'm teaching that one, you should come say hi. And then section B is gonna be like STEM 101. So chem, calc, what to expect in your major, everything like that. So both sections are offered on both days. So you could sign up for just section A, just section B. You can do section A on Tuesday, section B on Wednesday, or you can do both sections on one day. Totally up to you, you can mix and match. You get a free t-shirt. If you do both sections on the same day, we're keeping you between 8:30 and 4. Of course we have to feed you, so you're gonna get free lunch. We usually like to say we're gonna be the first free food that you get in college, but I see that that's not true. So we'll be your second free food that you get in college. And these sessions are really beneficial. We hosted this last year and I was a big part of it, and we got really positive feedback. We do like time for questions, we do activities. It's not just getting lectured at. In your STEM ones, you'll do like practice problems and you'll get to do like small group instruction. all really good things. And that registration is gonna be open until Monday at 8 a.m., but who wants to be up at Monday at 8 a.m.? So just sign up today. Just sign up like right after this is done when you get to your car or your dorm. Go ahead and sign up. Like I said, it's free. You get a t-shirt and lunch, so really you're kind of like making money when you think about it. And like I said, it's a lot of fun. We've heard really good things. And last year, we had Legos. I don't want to promise Legos, but I'm just saying there is a chance of Legos. And if you try to sign up Monday at 8 a.m., you sleep through your alarm. It happens if you try to sign up Monday at 8 a.m. There is some limited availability day of, so you can show up and there's a good chance we'll be able to squeeze you in. But go ahead and just sign up today so we can make sure your food and your t-shirt is reserved. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, you can sign up. Great question. Where do we sign up? You can sign up at studentsuccess.utdallas.edu, or you can just Google UTD SSC and it'll be like the first thing that pops up. And it is on the homepage. You don't even have to scroll. It is in your face, Summer Success Camp. You just click and it'll walk you through the registration. It's really easy stuff. We just need like your name and what section you're going to. Any other questions? Awesome. Okay, thank you guys so much for your time. It was great talking with you.
As someone who has a 12-month-old, I'm definitely up before 8 a.m. That's just my life now. Just real quick for our Spanish-speaking members here in the audience, I just want to give Alejandra a quick second to just kind of give a TLDR on the Student Success Camp.
Hola, buenos días. Ella trabaja para el Centro de Estudiantes para Exitosos y ella les está ofreciendo un campamento el martes y miércoles de 8:30 a 4:30. Ella les va a dar, está afuera para si se quieren inscribir, tienen hasta el lunes en la mañana para inscribirse. El campamento incluye comida los 2 días, martes y miércoles, y también incluye una playera. Y es gratis, no tienen que pagar nada. El campamento tiene diferentes cursos durante el día, no tienen que estar aquí todo el día tampoco, pueden ustedes escoger los diferentes campamentos y sesiones que van a tener durante los 2 días.
Thank you. And I got a question in the chat about if the event is for STEM only. It is not. Anybody can join. So thank you so much for that question right here in the chat. So we'll go ahead and get started with the Q&A, but before we do that, we'll just have everyone just kind of introduce themselves and what they do, and then I'll loop it back around with our first question.
Hi there. Sorry about that. My voice is horrible today. My name is Julie Jensen. I work at the UT Dallas Bursar office. The Bursar's office is responsible for assessing the fees on your account, like your tuition and any other supplemental fees. Also, if you're living on campus, it's likely that your housing and your meal plan will also be placed on your account by the Bursar's office. We also collect those fees, meaning you will pay the Bursar's office through something called EasyPay, which is how you'll each have an account, and it's how you'll go in and either set up a payment plan, pay your tuition, or just check your invoice to kind of see if your financial aid has dispersed. So those are the things that we do. I know that sounds a little bit unfriendly, but I swear we're not unfriendly. So if you have questions, there are several ways to get a hold of us. Of course, you can reach us. I have a stack of business cards that I will share later, and that way you have my name and my information, so you have a friend in the Bursar's office. However, you can call the Bursar's office. We're open from 8 to 5. We do not outsource our phones. Our phones are manned by our team, and we have a nice group of student workers. So if you're ever looking for work while you're here, Bursar does hire UT Dallas students to work. We have a chat feature on our page, and you can email us. So again, my name is Julie. I've been at UTD for about 6 years.
Hi, good morning. My name is Alejandra Gutierrez. Buenos días. Mi nombre es Alejandra Gutierrez. Soy consejera académica para la escuela o la Facultad de Economía, Ciencias Políticas y Póliza aquí en la universidad. Tengo trabajando para la universidad casi 8 años. Soy consejera académica de posgrado, pero he trabajado con estudiantes que están trabajando en su licenciatura. Si tienen alguna pregunta o comentarios o lo que ustedes quieran, por favor pueden venir a preguntarme, yo les puedo traducir si quieren. Hi, good afternoon, or good morning still. I'm an academic advisor. I've been on campus for about 8 years. I am currently a graduate advisor for students completing their master's. However, prior to being a graduate advisor, I worked with undergrad students here on campus. So if you guys have any questions or concerns about your students working or coming on campus, how to, resources on campus that you may need, I'm happy to answer any of those questions. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Sue Cap. I work for Capital One. I'm a compliance advisor. I work with the Capital One Auto Originations team. I've worked in auto finance for over 20 years, but I'm also here because I graduated as a master's in business in 2013 so I am a comic.
Hello, I'm Olivia, and I'm going to stand up because I'm vertically challenged and I couldn't see you over the podium here. I'm Olivia Guerra. I'm with the Center for Brain Health, which is part of UTD. We're just not on the campus. We're over in the medical district of Dallas. And I have a background of working with First Gen for over 20 years now. It's my passion. I am, like Alejandra said, I can answer questions, I can just listen, I can tell you about resources on campus and around Dallas, federally as well, although that's always in flux right now. And so I just welcome the opportunity to meet each and every one of you. I've already met my little first gen way back there. Actually, he's not going to be first gen, I don't think, because there's a sibling here. But he was the first one that greeted me when I walked in, and how could you not have a great day after that? So happy to be here this morning. It's my second year on the panel, and I'm very happy to meet all of you. I will hand it off to Sarah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah Metz. I am the Assistant Director of the Financial Aid Counseling Team here at UT Dallas. Yesterday actually marked my 10th anniversary here at UT. So my team is the one who's answering your phone calls, emails. We're seeing you in a virtual format to make sure that your financial aid applications are successfully submitted and that you are receiving the maximum of the aid that you're eligible to receive. And we're not scary either, I promise.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Candida Pucci. I'm a career advisor in the University Career Center. I've been working here for 3 years. In the University Career Center, we can support all students when it comes to career search, internships, student employment questions, because that team is also in our office. Anything career, so if you're looking for anything like, what should I do to build my resume, to have a stronger resume, any kind of questions around career stuff, I'm here to answer and also provide any advice.
Hello again, everyone. My name is Rexar. I am a third year and I'm a first gen student leader here. What do I do? I'm just a student.
Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate that, and we've got about, I want to say, 40 minutes. So what I want to do while anyone's maybe cooking up any questions is I want to just popcorn it through the panel here, just really quick fire. And what I want to start off with is, if there is one thing that you wish you would have done when you were in our incoming students' shoes, or as a parent supporting a student, what was the one thing that you would want to impart on our audience? I would have gotten involved much earlier. For example, I did not go to the Career Center. I'm not ashamed to admit this because it's a teaching moment. I did not go to the Career Center until I was in my graduating semester of my master's, meaning I'd already been here for 6 years. I should have done that more, and I didn't see my advisor as often as I needed to. She stopped me in the hall. I was walking by. She's like, "Where have you been?" Like, around. So I would have gotten involved with these resources early. Not when I think I need them, but being proactive about it. So that would be my one piece of advice. I'll pass it over I'll get that translated, and then we'll go down the line.
La pregunta es, ¿qué consejo le daríamos nosotros a los estudiantes o como papás, qué podríamos darles de consejo a los estudiantes su primer año? Derek dice que él podría decirles a ustedes que vayan al Career Center porque él tardó hasta graduarse de su maestría para ir a contactar al Career Center. So, no dejen al último ir a la oficina a hablar con una consejera de cómo empezar su carrera. No se esperen hasta al último momento o el último semestre. Ellos están para ayudar desde el principio, ya sea con su resume o con aplicar para internships o posiciones aquí en la institución.
Right. Again, my name is Julie. I have 2 daughters. Between my 2 daughters, there are 3 UT Dallas degrees. So I'm going to tell you what I think they would tell you, and that is to get involved, like Derek said, but also take chances. So my youngest is quiet, introverted. She went to the School of EPS. She got a master's degree, and during her master's program, she started doing some competitions. And for someone who is not, I don't want to say she's not outgoing, she just prefers to be by herself. She did those things, took some chances, and really enjoyed herself. And those things went on her CV. And those things, while you're in school, if you're not working, are very helpful as you move on. My oldest, what would she say? It's been a while. She would probably say not to ride your bicycle through a stop sign without stopping, because while she was here, she did that and she got a ticket. So that might be what she would say. But again, I think you should take chances, join organizations that maybe you're not 100% comfortable with. If there are competitions that you can get involved in that match your degree plan, do those things. Even if you're like, oh, I'm not good at XYZ. You are and you will be, and these things grow you as a person.
Julie les está diciendo que tomen oportunidades, que no tengan miedo en arriesgar y estar conectados con otras organizaciones que no necesariamente sean de su carrera o que les den poca importancia, que sigan y traten de participar en todo lo que puedan y desde el principio, que no lo dejen hasta el último, porque esas oportunidades es lo que le pueden brindar frutos en el futuro, ya sea como carrera o oportunidades de trabajar mientras están estudiando en sus carreras. Oh, my advice. So my advice to you is, of course, I'm an academic advisor, so I'm going to tell you what Derek should have done is visit with your advisor. Your academic advisor is there for you. She or he is not there just to assist you with course scheduling. Your advisor knows every single department or resource on campus. So they may not have all the answers, but they definitely have a contact in at least every department. So if you are struggling financially, if you are struggling with putting food in your mouth, if you're struggling with homework, with tutoring, you can't get a hold of your professor, maybe you're failing, go to your advisor. Your advisor will have an answer, and if it's not an answer, he or she will definitely have a resource for you. You are not alone on this campus. Going to school as a first-gen student is scary because sometimes your parents don't have the answers, sometimes your family members don't have the answers, but your academic advisor is there for you, especially if you let them know that you're first generation. A lot of our advisors on campus work closely with Derek and his office to ensure that first generation students are successful on campus. So do not hesitate to get to know your academic advisor. Make sure you reach out to them during your first semester, definitely during the first week or second week. Make that connection right away because that is who's going to get you from beginning to end here on campus. Mi consejo para ustedes es conéctense, hagan citas con su consejera académica. Ella está aquí para ustedes, para guiarlos y para conectarlos con las oficinas y departamentos que necesiten en cualquier momento. No necesariamente son para ayudarles en sus clases y registraciones, también están aquí para ayudarles y apoyarlos en su carrera académica. Next.
I think for what I would recommend, I'm going to leverage Alejandro's because actually, before you go see that academic advisor, do some homework. Look into the course catalog. Read all of the details of those courses that you're going to have to take. Granted, they are required, but all of those things that are elective, do they make sense for what you want to do? Are there things that are going to be able to help you be a more well-rounded individual and take advantage of the things that sound cool, that are going to be something that you can like think about 15 years down the road and say, I'm really glad I did the photography classes and did some volunteering in the photography shop. Not that anyone does print anymore, but that's okay. It was great learning experience, but prepare for your academic advisor conversations. Do not expect them to drive that for you, because this is your learning journey.
Para conectar el consejo, ella les aconseja que lean primero el catálogo de cursos que tiene la universidad para todos los programas y carreras. El catálogo tiene las clases que van a tomar en su carrera y tengan preguntas y estén preparados cuando vayan con sus consejeras académicas. Ellos y ellas les pueden ayudar en qué clases tomar, cuáles están disponibles este semestre, pero ustedes tienen que apoyarse en ellas por decirles o para decirles en qué están interesados ustedes. Va a haber clases que no les van a interesar, pero son requisitos. Entonces, ¿cómo sacar lo más que puedan de esas clases, aunque no sean lo que ustedes quieran? Organícense y prepárense antes de ir con sus consejeras académicas para que puedan agarrar lo más que puedan de ellos.
And don't mind me, I'm going to answer a live chat. We'll keep going.
All right, all of my very first responses to this are taken, so good job on this panel. Definitely get involved. All of the research, peer-reviewed data shows students who are involved on campus are more likely to stay, which they're retained, and complete, right? So what's the goal here? Complete. Walk out of here with that degree, right? If you're more involved, you have more connections, which, side note, brain healthy, because I gotta throw that out there, I'm Center for Brain Health. Also, it will help you have more resources than we want you. All of these people are very friendly. I met most of them this morning outside, and they all talked to me and were willing to give me resources. And I already have my master's degree from UTD. But maybe I'll go get a PhD. Who knows? It's possible. So with that, I want to tell you, when you go to class, do not sit in the back of the room and be quiet. I want you to sit in the T-zone. Who knows what the T-zone is? Anybody? Anybody? All right, over here. What's the T-zone? Very good. Oh, if I had a prize, but we're out of prizes right now. This, right in the middle and across. Because guess what? Who's the professor going to see? Smiley face right here. We already smiled at each other. I was like, I would already do anything for this student, okay? Because I made eye contact. We have a connection already. I don't even know your name. What's your name? Glory. Glory? Glory. Nice to meet you, Olivia. Do you need any help? Sit in the T-zone, because who's going to write your letters of recommendation for those financial aid scholarships? Professor. Who's going to write that recommendation letter for you to go to law school, business school, med school, grad school, your first job? Professors, people you made connections with in those activities you join. You need those references. When student calls me, they don't really call anymore, they text me. Miss G, can you write me a letter of rec? Well, I need to be able to say something about you. And you know what, if Glory were to say, Miss G, I'd say, well, I remember the first time I smiled at Glory. Is that right, Glory? Okay. And go from there and sing all of Glory's praises so that everybody's fighting over her. So T-Zone, and the next thing, also Brain Healthy, and this is something I wish I would have known, because I'm a recovering perfectionist. Do not pull all-nighters. Do you hear me? Do not pull all-nighters. Get your rest. And it's not just the night before the test, it's the night before the test. And you can learn more about that in the class that I co-teach with Derek in the springtime called Journey to Brain Health. We teach you the brain healthy strategies that are science-backed, and I would just love for you to come sit in and listen to some of our fabulous speakers. Janet Kozlowski is the one who taught me that about sleep. She's one of my colleagues. And oh, how I would have done things differently as an undergrad had I had the knowledge. But those are my pieces of advice, since my really good advices were already taken. So there you go. T-Zone, sleep, no all-nighters. Okay, thank you.
No, ok, ella les aconseja 3 cosas. La primera es que se involucren en sus clases, que se sienten en la T, en una sección T, que viene siendo la primera sección y todo en el medio. Porque los profesores son los que les van a escribir cartas de recomendación para sus futuras experiencias, ya sea ir a la escuela de medicina, ya sea ir a la escuela de leyes, agarrar su primer trabajo. So, conocer a sus profesores es la primera y segunda sugerencia que les tiene ella. La última es no quedarse despierto toda la noche nomás para estudiar. Tienen que dormir, ¿ok? Ya sea ponerse en rutina de irse a la cama, irse a dormir a una buena hora todos los días, porque para poder estudiar o para poder hacer examen la siguiente mañana uno tiene que dormir. Es importante para tu cabeza y para tus estudios estar bien, no nomás saludable, pero también tener su descanso. Gracias.
So I'm going to give 2 pieces of advice, one as a student and one as a financial aid advisor. As a student, I would say do the thing. Do your internship, go on that study abroad, get involved in organizations. This is your time to enjoy this part of your life and figure out what it is that you want to do in the future, so do the thing. As a financial aid counselor, I would say make sure you understand what type of aid you're receiving and what the requirements are to continue to receive that aid. Because there are going to be GPA or completion rate requirements that need to be met, and you need to make sure that you are on track to continue to receive the help that we're giving you. And in order to do that, check out the Student Success Center so that they can make sure that you're on track with your GPA and completing your classes.
Ok, dos consejos. Uno es siempre di que sí a cualquier oportunidad que te den, ya sea hacer un internship o viajar fuera. Todas esas son oportunidades buenas para ustedes, para poner en su resume y para su carrera después y conectar con otras personas. La segunda consejo es que lean toda la información que les dan para pagar sus estudios. Okay. Toda la información que les dan contiene el criterio, que es lo que necesitan tener y mantener para continuar a recibir ese fondo, ya sea scholarship o grant o dinero que viene del gobierno.
Okay, so like she said, that's a lot of great advice already. From the University Career Center and also from a first-generation college graduate myself, I would say definitely using all of your resources. Coming to the Career Center early, like Derek said, because you don't want to just wait until the last minute or like when you think you may need an internship. You want to start figuring out that career piece early as possible. Just coming in, gaining the knowledge, trying to figure out what do you want to do, kind of just doing a search, because we have like career design, and with that career design, it's not only focused on what I feel like I have to do, but trying to figure out like what fits you and finding that meaningful career ultimately. So starting off there, again, using your resources, getting as much advice as you can from all of the lovely individuals that you'll meet across campus. She talked about connections, and connections are also really strong. Later on, you can use them as great resources to find opportunities. Your network is going to be also very helpful, so those are the connections that you make. Don't take advice from other peers, and when I say this, I mean like any kind of negative advice, right? Psychology course was hard, right? Because that's something that I did for myself, and I was like, okay, well, I don't want to take a psychology course because it's hard. Eventually, I figured out, well, I enjoy something with psychology, and so that was into my master's program. And so in my master's program, I ended up studying counseling, right? But if I took this leap of faith and try to figure it out myself, take a course in intro to psychology, maybe I could have learned what I actually enjoyed as an undergraduate student. So again, just try things out for yourself, use your resources, make the connections, because all in the end, it's going to pay off and it's always going to help you. Okay?
Ella trabaja para el Centro de Consejería de Carreras y les recomienda que empiecen a ir al centro desde su primer semestre. No se esperen hasta el último semestre porque es más difícil tratar de poner y conectarlos con gente y departamentos. Si empiezan temprano, ellos tienen la habilidad de tomar exámenes, de asistirlos en lo que puedan para poder empezar a crear ese resumen que les va, ojalá les den la carrera que quieran al último de su semestre. Pero ella les recomienda que empiecen temprano, empiecen su primer semestre, no se esperen y que también tomen oportunidades en clases que nunca hubieran tomado si no se los hubieran recomendado, o si les recomiendan, no tomes esa clase porque es muy difícil o lo que tú quieras. Si a ustedes les interesa esa clase, tómenla, tomen esas oportunidades porque uno nunca sabe qué es lo que les gusta si no lo intentan.
Okay, so I was a freshman not too long ago. I'm starting my third year, and I think freshman year should have been centered around time management. So to be good at time management, you have to practice time management, and it's a lot easier to practice with fewer pieces than more. I came in my freshman year, taken more classes than my advisor recommended. Working a job, I worked 3 to 4 days a week. Joining a student organization, but like not just joining as a enjoyer. I joined as part of the board. So don't do that. And then a big part of making those faculty connections and sitting in the T-zone is showing up to class. So you want to make sure you give yourself time to be on class on time, because when you're like a little late and you have a bad day, you might just not go, and then you might just keep doing that. So just don't do that, and then you'll get it.
Ella es estudiante de tercer año y ella les recomienda manejamiento de tiempo. No siempre se va a poder hacer todo lo que quieran. El tiempo es preciado, especialmente cuando tienen que estudiar y atender a clase. Como les dije anteriormente, si no duermen y no descansan, lo lógico es que no se van a levantar el siguiente día en la mañana. So, manejamiento de tiempo. Sean más organizados en lo que hacen. Compren una agenda, un calendario. Todos tenemos un teléfono donde pueden poner alarmas de cuándo empieza la clase, cuándo se termina la clase. Hay que tomar tiempo para comer, hay que tomar tiempo para dormir. So, tomen lo necesario para organizarse y para poder ir a atender clases, pero también para poder hacer conexiones con amigos o con organizaciones que les pueden ayudar en el futuro.
Thank you very much. And see, I knew we would touch on a lot with that question. I was a psych major, so framing is one of my things. So I want to say 2 things before we open up to the audience. Number 1, I was an undergraduate student here. I may have taken some liberties on my bicycle as well, but we're live on YouTube, so I'm not going to get into specifics. Smash that like button, by the way. And the second thing is, this is a real privilege for me. I believe very heavily in being the person I wish I had when I was a student. So it is a great honor. If you come to my office, Spider-Man is all over the walls. Been a fan since I was 5, and I'm a big, great power, great responsibility person. To the families, you're sending your child to college. I mentioned earlier, I have a 1-year-old. He turns 1 next week. And I'm trying to enjoy every moment of that because I know the day is going to come where he's going to go. And I would want him to be in similar hands. So just know, families, I take this is personal to me because I was in their shoes. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that they have an infinitely better experience than I did. And I had a pretty good experience. And my relationship with my advisor, even though I was late, we're still very close to this day. Like, I still keep in contact with her. And finally, and Rexar can tell you this, if you're a student or if you come into my office, oh, Derek, I'm struggling, I had a bad semester. This never fails. I'll go into Galaxy, I'll put in a student ID, I'll go to the first semester, and I'll just turn the screen. I was like, look at what that guy was doing. It's me. I showed them my first semester. It was not good. Then I showed them my second semester. It was all right. But then I showed them what happened when I got in touch with people, and you see my GPA do this. And then I had that first semester, that first year. I have a bachelor's degree, I have a master's degree, and I'm currently writing my dissertation for my PhD, like right now. I didn't even, thanks. All that to say, I am no different than the people sitting in this room. The only difference is I was born in the late 1900s. Like, that's the only difference. And I just did this before your student did. And so, again, I just wanted to put that out there, and then we can get into any questions. And by the way, I speak in front of undergrads for a living, so I have plenty of questions in my back pocket in case there is like that awkward silence. So, but yeah. Oh, we've got a question. I'm gonna come down and give you the mic, Price is Right style. And I'll keep us on track too. We've got about 15 minutes.
Thank you guys for this and for the information. I think that I would struggle with time management. What are 2 or as many tips as you can give me to manage my time appropriately or efficiently in campus?
Question was about time management, how to utilize that because it is a skill. Sounds like a strategic attention thing, but I see that Rick, sorry, do you want to chime in?
I think it's like, tennis?
Yeah.
It's like, when you hit a ball, it's like low to high, right? You want to start off as minimum as you can, depending on, your life situations and what you're passionate about, what you really want to focus on. And then as you manage those few things very well, then you add more, and then it's easier and it's easier versus just starting off really high and then maybe ending up lower than you'd like, right? That's my biggest piece of advice. Just start slow. Oh, you said 2? What do I have? Oh, I love Google Calendar. When I started getting really strict with Google Calendar, it really changed my life. Like when I started blocking off times to do like homework assignments, like, oh, I think this is gonna take me 3 hours, I'm gonna block off 3 hours. Maybe add an extra 30 minutes for a break, I'll add an extra 30 minutes,
My 2 pieces of advice is, 1 is a calendar. Are you a hands-on learner? Are you a visual learner? What type of a learner are you? And you don't have to answer the question, but just think about it. I'm a visual learner. I like seeing things. So things on my phone doesn't help me because I'm not visually looking at everything that I have to do. So I'm traditional. I will go to Walmart and go buy a handbook, agenda, calendar, and I will write down everything almost to the hour. But that's because that's how I like it. I like to see what I have planned out for the day. I need to make sure that I block the 30 minutes for a break, for a cup of tea, for a cup of coffee. Block out some time for lunch because sometimes it is very hard to stop where you're at if you're really wrapped up. You also don't want to break your creativity process or your writing process in the middle of something. So if you block enough time in between whatever it is that you're doing, that helps. But definitely an agenda or a planner, something physical for me is helpful. Sometimes I find it when I'm teaching the freshman seminar class, a lot of my students realize, oh, we understand what you mean by the physical aspect of things. Yeah, sometimes I have students that literally create a dry erase board, and for them, it's easier to have a month at a time where they can scratch things off, because then on that weekend of the following month, they have time to themselves, and it's pretty much a stress reliever to erase their board and start over for the following month. So something that's visual definitely helps, so that would be my first piece of advice. And the second one, I agree, don't overload yourself. This is your first semester, being in college and away from home, or even if you are a commuter coming into campus and off campus, you have to build some time into that stuff. So don't overload yourself. Maybe just the first week of classes, do just that. Just go to class, because that'll give you an idea of what free time you have and you don't have, versus kind of guessing and start adding onto your calendar without even having that in paper or in your calendar, essentially. But yeah, those would be my two.
Love that. And I want to keep just let everybody know that we can't get to everybody's question during this live broadcast. During lunch, our panelists will still be here, so we'll have like a little, we'll have some networking. And if you're watching live on YouTube, once again, you can smash that like button for the algorithm. And you can email me as well, derek.jackson@utdallas.edu. I promise, I'm the only one who spells my name that way. This is also something that I learned during the Journey into Brain Health about strategic attention. I have control over where I put my attention. And I put that into my Google Calendar, and I try to live by, hey, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. I even tell my brother that, Eric, I know you're watching. I did not tell my wife that, let's just keep it real. But calendar, just keeping track of things really helps. It helps so much. So I think we got time for, oh yeah, go for it.
Yes, we do talk about this in the Journey to Brain Health, and there's more steps, but are you a morning person or an evening person? When do you do your best deep thinking?
When you lock in.
Prime time. Okay, you have a research paper due. Should you wait until you've gone to all your classes that day, done all your homework, and then start working on it if you already know that's not your brain's best time? So a lot of people, because we're not taught otherwise, we kind of tackle our things as they come at us, right? We're like, oh, okay, this text message popped up, I'm gonna answer it now. Somebody's on Slack or Teams, I'm gonna respond to that now. And it takes a long time for us to switch between those things. And that's draining our battery, which is what I'm thinking of my brain as right now, right? It has a certain amount of energy for the day. So I'm gonna be strategic and plan when I have these very cognitively demanding activities to do, because I was in neuroscience, that's what my master's is in. I'm not gonna do that when my brain's all drained at the end of the day. That's not a good idea. I'm gonna make sure I block out time on my calendar, whichever one works for me, to do that. And then I'm gonna ask people to respect that time and not interrupt me while I'm doing it. And we talk about it more in the class. Like I said, there's a lot more to it about elephants and rabbits, little teaser there. But rabbits are those things that distract us all day, that we feel like we're getting a lot of things done, but we're really not making a lot of forward movement. And elephants are those things that are gonna move us forward toward a goal. And so I just invite you can come talk to me at lunch or whatever, and we can talk about that. But be smart about when you schedule out your things, when to do that.
Awesome. And then we got time for one more question. Thank you. One more live question.
So you guys mentioned scholarships, like after October they would open and such. So I, for example, am an AES recipient. So would the external scholarships be added to AES, or would it be, okay, my AES is this amount, the new scholarship is less, the AES would override it? How does that work?
Hi. So with the AES scholarship, we're not gonna ever touch that amount. If you are getting a lot of other scholarships to the point where, so there are different caps that we look at in terms of how we apply your aid. if you're getting grants and loans and scholarships, then we're gonna start adjusting with the loans because we don't want you to go in debt if you don't have to be in debt. So we're always gonna take from that loan first. And now if we get to the point where we've taken all of your loans and you still need more aid added in from your scholarships, then we might need to start taking away some of your grant funding. But again, your scholarships are probably gonna be better than the long-term effects of your grants. So we'll stack as much scholarships as we can before we start messing with anything else.
And also, where do we find the scholarships we can apply to? Like, is there one for all place?
So the question is, where do we find the scholarships? We are moving toward a system where they will eventually all be in one place. Right now, it's kind of in a couple of different places. So we have a general scholarship listing, which we are working towards building everything into, called Artemis. That's our new portal. That's where you're gonna submit your one general scholarship, and it's gonna apply you to all of the scholarships that are now in that portal. But there are still currently scholarships that have not been imported into that portal at this time, and those are gonna be mostly departmental scholarships. So right now you wanna take a look at your department's scholarship webpage as well as our general scholarship listings. And I know you mentioned October. I want to be clear that the ones that are opening in October are going to be very few and far between. Those are going to be for spring only, and we don't have a lot of those scholarships. The majority of our scholarships are going to open in January or February, so now we're talking January 2026 for the 26-27 aid year. So do check in October, but don't be discouraged by the number that you're seeing. More scholarships will open in January.
Absolutely, and you will be getting an email from me, like all the first gen, with like, hey, this is about to happen. And this is a nice teaser for Capital One for their presentation, because when I got my financial aid package, and I got a refund, I've never seen that amount of money in my life. Like in my life, and it's so easy to, number one, accept more than you actually need. I didn't need to do that. I had enough money to cover my expenses. I accepted all of it, and it was a unsubsidized loan that I accepted. We're working on that. We're chipping that away. But the point is, I didn't have to take all that, and then what I did with that, it's a nice segue for our friends at Capital One. So we've got about 4 minutes left. I want to make sure that we have plenty of time for everyone to grab some food and try to kind of take a break, and then we'll come back in. And again, during lunch, feel free to continue to interact with me, with our panel here. We do have people here who can translate if you have any questions and preguntas. We do have people here who can translate that for you. But with the time we have remaining, I just want to say again, thank you all, and thank you for being here. This advice was grand. And we are here to support your scholar from now until they graduate and beyond as well, because we are building up our alumni base as well. So just a quick plug for what we do at Capital One. We have our First Generation Professional Networking event that takes place every November during First Generation Celebration Week. And we're adding something cool to that. I'm going to be sending out an email to our upperclassmen, but we'll keep doing this when your scholar reaches this stage as well. Well, we're actually going to prepare a career readiness, workplace readiness program that ends with a certificate of completion. And I'm actually going to tell the folks at Capital One who will be at the networking event, hey, be on the lookout for these students who did that. And that's going to make your scholar stand out even more. So if you are an incoming transfer student, you're going to get that information from me. If you're an incoming freshman student, you'll get that information from me in about 2 years. But now I do encourage the freshmen to still come to the networking event, because it's never, Mike died, because it's never too early to do that. As a matter of fact, there was a student, her name was Vanessa. She was in my class. She came to this family orientation. She met my brother, who works for Ally Financial, and now she works at Ally Financial. I had another student who was in my class, took the brain health class, went to the professional networking event, met some folks from Capital One, and now they work at Capital One. So we really do. I shamelessly plug for my students. I have no problem with shame. Like, I will walk right up to them. How many mics? I'll walk right up to employers and be like, hey, have you met so-and-so? Oh, you haven't? There you go. And because I'm a super extroverted person, you might have been able to tell. And I try to use that to boost my students as well, while also boosting their confidence to be able to advocate for themselves. So that's my 3 mics. And, thanks everybody. Definitely enjoy some food and come on back and kind of mingle. I'll be floating around as well, and then we'll get Capital One sub. You definitely don't want to miss this. I learn something new every single year from these folks. So thank you all so much.